Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. We're doing our deep dive into the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam study on the ancient philosophy given in the Vedic literatures. And they're all summarized in this book. They're all not summarized, they're all basically the cream of the crop. It rises to the top. This is the Galitam Phalam, the ripened fruit of this giant body of Vedic of wisdom. This is what's the most essential things that we should understand, imbibe, meditate, focus on. And so today we are on verse 14. Very nice verse. So let me open that up. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Okay, here we go. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A little bigger. And I'll share the screen. So, Carmen, how are you doing today? How's everything?
I'm okay. Everything's good. Today started off pretty good. Got a good amount of japa done. Yeah, glad to be here.
That always feels good when you start off with japa. That's hearing and chanting. Dana K, how's everything?
Hi, well, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm happy that I could be here still. Thank you.
Did you get to hear Bhuta Bhavana today?
I did. That was so good.
He's fantastic. I got to meet him a couple times. It's really, really wonderful.
Oh, how amazing. Person. He seemed so, just so welcoming and so friendly, and it was great.
Yeah, no, that's who he is. He's really nice. He's really great. So yeah, I got to hear that this morning too. Very excited.
And how are you?
Oh no, I'm just trailing by, following his footsteps. Hopefully. Oh, would you say how's it going with me? Is that what you said?
How are you?
Oh yeah, very good, very good. I got to hear Bhuta Bhavana, so my day is good. Got to hear Bhuta Bhavana. I got to hear Satchidananda Swami class on this verse also. And I was listening to a little bit of Ramapad Swami's class on this verse. And then after that, I also have a Radha Swami class on this verse. I haven't heard it yet. So I like to hear classes. So here. This is text 14. Text 14 is basically it's feeding off of the previous verse, because that's why it starts off with therefore. If anything you say, you can't start a sentence off with therefore unless, there's some other thing that was said before. So say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are studying Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 14. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi Shotavya Kititabhyascha Jeya Pujashta Nityadha. Translation. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about. Here, how many points did your attention have, Dana K? How many?
1.8.
1 point, not many points. One pointed. With one pointed attention. Therefore, with one pointed attention, turn back again, one should constantly hear about Shrotavya, Kirtitavya, Kirtan, Kirtita, Kirti, glorify, Jaya, remember, Puja, and worship the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, who is Satpatam Patihi, who is the protector of the devotees. So let's look at our previous verse, because we got our therefore there. And so first we know we have this famous verse in number 11. We have verse 11 is well, verse 10. What is verse 10? Verse 10. Kamasya Indriya Pritir Lavo Jivati Yavata. It's talking about leading up verse like 8 and 9 and 10. What is Dharma for? Dharma Swanashtitapum Savikshvakshena Katasiyat Notpadet Yadiratim Shamayivahi Kevalam. That Dharma that doesn't produce rati or attachment, attraction, love for God, it's just a waste of time. Dharma is not for art, it's not for wealth, it's not for material desires, it's not even for general liberation. It means for the ultimate liberation. And even if you have your material desires, basically the only thing you would really need is just to make sure you have a healthy body, healthy home, healthy situation. And so what is this liberation? What is this thing that we're connecting to? That's in the verse 11. What is the first line? Verse 11 is Vadanti tat. Vadanti tat. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattva yajnanam advayam. Oh, I heard this, read this cool thing yesterday. So this advaya jnana. Does anybody remember what is advaya? Or does anybody remember what jnana means?
Is jnana knowledge?
Jnana means knowledge. Now, if jnana means knowledge, there are, if you have the word knowledge, how many things are involved in the word knowledge? How many beings, how many personalities, or how many things you can think about? I'm trying to figure out a different way to say it. There's jnana, jnana. I'm trying to find a way to say this point. But if you have a guess, let me know. Any guess? Anybody's watching on Facebook? Join us on Zoom. Give us your guess. So jnana means you have something that is known, and the one who knows it, the observer. And jnana is the thing that makes you know the thing. So the other knower, and that which is known. Jnanam, jnayam. And then you have what is the process of how you get that knowledge. Like, for example, bhakti means you have Krishna as the object to be known. And even the word jnanam in 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita refers to bhakti, because Krishna is the object to be known. Jiva, the soul, is what is trying to know Krishna. And the way you know Krishna, bhaktyam abhijanati, the way you know Krishna is through bhakti. So the word jnana in 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita refers to bhakti. So when you say jnanam, you mean two, the knower and that which is known. Now the word advayam, advaya means two, but advayam means not two. So in this word you have oneness and difference and duality. Because there's a difference between that person who knows and the thing that is being known, the thing that is being seen or drasht, the thing that is being observed. Does that make sense? So in that two words, actually this concept, the Lord Chaitanya's expression, Achincha Beda Beda Tattva, what does that mean, Carmen? Achincha Beda, a Beda Tattva.
I'm not sure.
Achincha means something unsure. Achincha means inconceivable. Inconceivable. A Beda Tattva means oneness and difference. So non-difference and difference. And so oneness and difference. So Achincha Beda Beda Tattva, there's actually a song by Kula Shekhar, which was a popular band in the 90s and very popular in Europe, not as popular in America, but they were like on the charts. They had a song, Achincha Beda Beda Tattva. So this is a very key understanding how the soul is simultaneously one with and simultaneously different from the Supreme. So even in this word Advaya Jnanam, you have the oneness and you have the difference. Advaya Jnanam. So the Vedanti Tattva Vidas Tattva Jnanam Advayam. So this those who are the knowers of the truth, Tattvavit, who have the wits of Tattva, who know the truth, they describe that the truth is understood through three different stages of realization. This is one thing, Brahman Paramatma Bhagavan. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaneti Shabjate. And then he follows on. After that, he says, Tatshadanaya Munyo, Jnanarai Ragi Yuktaya, Pashanti Atmani Chatmana, Bhakta Shuta Grihitaya. And so by this process of bhakti, the soul can see the Supreme Soul. Pashanti Atmani Chatmanam, Bhakta Shuta Grihitaya. And that's verse 12. Verse 13. Ata pumbir dvija shrishta varna shama vibhaga shaha swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhar haritorshana. So now this is speaking about the whole system of Vedic, the social system in the Vedic culture by which people are gradually elevated. So this is the varnashram system. You have, like Bhuta Bhavana discussed it. Remember he said, what was the acronym? Do you remember the letters? I remember the letters. Dana K?
No.
It is team. You have your teachers. You have your entrepreneurs. You have your artists. And you have your monarchs. So you have these kind of four personalities that are kind of a psychological, even can be physical, like times the leaders or the monarchy persons are very well built, powerful. So they have certain characteristics, and a person could try really hard at doing something. One person to think about business is just like breathing. Like I said, when we talk about finance, talk about business, for one person that's like, I can't understand. You can teach me and I can learn it, I can understand these things. For one person, it is very, very simple. It's just natural for them. They're inclined towards it. They perceive the world through it. Another person, it's not natural. Like we mentioned on the Wisdom of Sages today, how like if you ever look up anything like business, money, job, or anything, then you're constantly going to get ads. Do you guys ever get ads like you have this app called YouTube. Well, then you can make $4,000 a month without doing anything, and it will come to you every $4,000 to $10,000 a month, and it will become passively you'll get all these ads like that. And I did it. You can do too. And so one of the points is that there's certain activities that a person may have a natural inclination to, and for one person it is like pulling teeth, the other person is just like breathing. There's also luck too. They mentioned that karma. Not everybody. You have many people who have the aptitude, have the nature, who have the intelligence of Bill Gates, but they don't have his paycheck. So he must have had some piety, some charity done in a past life. Therefore, he is living the result of that. So this verse, what is this? Atapum bir dvija shreshta. So this Atapum bir dvija shreshta varnashrama shivibhagasha. So this whole varnashram thing, this whole thing of culturing, teaching people how to be good teachers, teaching people how to be good leaders, teaching people how to be good business leaders, teaching people how to be good supporters, good employees, good artisans. The whole thing is for what? Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. That whole cultural system is meant for pleasing Haritoshanam, pleasing Krishna. What does Hari mean? Does anybody know? Any guess? Carmen G? Hari?
I know the name of Krishna.
And do you know what it means?
The one who carries a flute?
No, that's Murli Dhar Vangshi Dhar. Hari means to take away, to steal. So one who takes away the whole problems of birth and death. One who steals this away. And so there's another name for Krishna, Manohar. He steals your mana, your mind, your heart. Chittahari, he steals your heart as well. Chittohari, Manohari. And therefore we say Hare Krishna. Because Radharani is what? What does she do to Krishna? She steals his heart. Therefore, she's called Hara. She's also stealing his heart. There's Krishna who's described as Madana Mohana. He enchants Madana. He enchants Cupid. And then, but Radharani is Madana Mohana Mohini. She is the enchanter of the enchanter of Cupid. So everybody in this world is enchanted by Cupid. Now you could see some beautiful, attractive young guy, and then comes Cupid's little arrow, and they're like, it could have been anybody, but just somehow that arrow went into that one person, and then all of a sudden you feel some attraction through ears, through hearing the person, through seeing the person. These are all the 5 different arrows he has, and so everyone is being forced by this, these arrows of Cupid. But Cupid is completely attached and attracted to Krishna. He enchants and then Krishna is becoming completely attracted and entranced by Srimati Radharani. Therefore, she is Hara. Hare Krishna. So Hara is the vocative of Hara. Meaning the vocative means someone saying it. So in the Maha Mantra, you have Radha and Krishna. Krishna is also known as Rama because he gives pleasure to Radharani. So Radha, Krishna, and you have the spirit soul. Because Hare means someone saying it. It's indicating that there's the soul there calling out. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So some consider Hadiposhana. So the whole point of Varnashram, the whole point of the whole culture is Samsiddhir Hadiposhana, to bring great satisfaction to Krishna himself. And so then we come upon this verse. This verse is, therefore, let's open it up again. Therefore, O best among the twice born, Dvija Shrestha. Okay, this is the previous one. Therefore, tasmad ekena manasa. One pointed attention. Now, if you want to achieve something, you need that great focus. So if someone is one-pointedly focused on something very silly, like if somebody has spent their entire life focused how to take, you get a stick, you get this metal stick, and then it's got this kind of bulbous thing on the bottom, and it's got rubber on the top. And if you can figure out how with this stick to take a white bumpy ball and how to get it in a hole with the least amount of touching the stick, this metal stick with a bulbous thing and a rubber on the top, the least amount of hits, how to get, okay, wait, what is it saying? Zoom Pro, did I not log in? Hold on, that's saying ending in 10 minutes. 1 second. Maybe I didn't log in. Basic. Hold on. Okay, let me see if I can do this at the same time. Let me take off the share. So if a person, as I do this, if a person spends their entire time, their intelligence, their focus, their figuring out how they can, become better at golf, then what will we do? We will invite them to speak on various TV shows. We will ask them how to, run our country. We will ask them about, like marriage. We'll ask them so many questions just because this person has one pointed, fixed attention on how to, with, a little metal stick, hit a ball into a hole in the grass. Okay, now I change. Me and Kylie, we pass our license around. It's her license, not my license. So she helps with this class by lending myself her Zoom account. So I think I did it. And I pass the license over to me. It should not kick us off after 40 minutes. Okay, and if that person does that, we don't say you're a fanatic, But if someone is very, very focused on their spiritual life, we might find criticism upon them. But if it's golf or something else, you're like, oh, they're expert, wonderful, wonderful. So tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan saptatapatihi. So what does manasa mean? Anybody know? Manasa deho geho yoki chumora arpilo tue pade nanla kisho. Yes, Carmen.
Isn't manasa like the attention of the mind?
The mind. Manasa is the mind, yes.
Ah, okay. So manasa is the mind.
Manasa is the mind, yes. Okay. Hopefully they don't maybe if they kick us off, we have to restart. But I've already passed the license, but I'm still getting the countdown. Manasa deho geho. Let's look that up. Manasa deho geho. Manasa deho geho. Yoki chomo. Arpila tua pade. Nanda Kishore. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. My mind, deho, my body, my family, whatever may be mine, I surrender at your lotus feet. Oh, youthful son of Nanda. A beautiful song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Atma Nivedana Song 3. Also, people just say sometimes the first line. I know the. So Manasa Deho Geho. So first thing he's offering is his mind there. So Tasmad Ekena Manasa. As Krishna says, Vyayasatmaka Budhir Eke Kuru Nandana. That the person who has their intelligence splayed out, which is our common thing, our ADD life that we're all basically conditioned to, and hardwired to even. It's hard to achieve anything, but we become very fixed upon the pleasure of Krishna. Now, even if our mind is going all over the place, but if all of our options that our mind is going to are options of Krishna's satisfaction, then that's still focus upon Krishna. So if our mind is going all over the place, but it's all over the place upon Krishna, then still we can engage our ADD mind upon Krishna. Tasmad ekene manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi. Sattvatam. So Sattvatam of the devotees. Let's see. The master of the devotees. Oh, here it's again used, the same term. The master, the protector. Pati is kind of like, sometimes I think it's used as a husband or like Lord or something like that. Husband, Pati. Master of the Vaishnava devotees. Now there, look, this is used several times in the Bhagavatam. Bhartru, protector of the devotees. Sattvatam Rishabham. Sattvatams. Sattvatas. Devotees. Sattvatam Patihi. Let's see. King. Okay, it's like the king. So what is this? The boss. There's a nice deity of Krishna, a very kind of young-looking Krishna, and he's kind of a chubby little deity that you could get. Actually, I think the devotees once they got it at what is this? Not J.C. Penney. It was like one of these stores, and they got a big deity of Krishna at C.J. Maxx, I think it was. And the deity is Karta Masai, that's the name. And they asked Prabhupada, what does this mean? He says, the boss, the OG. So he's the OG, and that he's like and what is the OG of? He's the protector of his devotees. And so this is, as we mentioned in the previous verse number 11, there's the 3 stages of God realization. 3 stages of God realization. But this stage is where you're actually reciprocating with devotion. And what is the reciprocation? Krishna is caring for you. You have many examples in Vedic literature of someone who was approaching God in a non-personable way. And so one example is, let's see. You have Vishwamrita. He's trying to attain yogic powers. He might not even be approaching God, but there's some spiritual connection that is there, and he is trying to attain powers by his process of meditation. And his many years of meditation. And Lord Indra, the king of heaven, becomes frightened that he is going to lose his position. Let me see if I can do a little jugglery, because it says 1 minute remaining. Now that I'm past the license over, let me try log in with my phone here. I'll just put it on mute. I just realized I was on mute. So I think it did something, because I think our time would have been up and we're still on. So if that happens, we'll just have to log right back in, retry. So we were at, you have Vishwamitra Muni. He was doing these austerities. Indra was afraid. This guy is going to take my position. He's going to take my job. I'm no longer going to, because Indra gets in that position because of the great abundance of his good karmic activities, his good dharmic activities. And so he becomes sometimes frightened if somebody is doing all these pious activities, good karmic activities, good dharmic activities. And so he tries to create impediments. And so this Vishwamitra is meditating. And so he sends, while he's meditating, he sends Menaka, who is a celestial maiden, a beauty beyond earthly human description. She's from the heavenly planets, and even just by the energy of just hearing her ankle bells tinkle, she hears it takes him out of his meditation, and he falls in love with her. They have a child, and the years of meditation that he was doing was lost. We have also Chavana Muni. You have another one, Shobhari Muni. They were all also did not pass these challenging tests that approached them. But then you have the example of Haridas Thakur. He was presented with such a test. That the beautiful lady who was actually sent by an envious party. There was a gentleman who was seeing that Haridas Thakur, this Muslim man, who was become a Vaishnava saint, was being greatly respected. So he wanted to create some scandal. And so he sent the most beautiful woman to try to, for this person to give up his sacred vows that he had taken. And so he was chanting, and Haridas Thakur, he chanted 192 rounds a day. That's usually around at least 22 hours it's going to take you. Maybe if he's chanting very fast, maybe 20 hours. So he has about 2 to 4 hours of the day that he uses for sleep, for food, for everything else. And he was just living in a cave and just chanting like this. He is known as the Navacharya, the greatest chanter whatsoever. This is the greatest example of chanting. And so this lady came, and she said, I'm in love with you. Let's get it on. And he said, yes, let's do that. Let me just finish my chanting, my japa. You just wait there. And she's waiting and waiting and waiting. And then she comes back the next day. Same thing happens. She comes the third day, and the quality of his japa, of his meditation, was so pure that it transformed her heart. And she revealed that she was actually sent there to cause a scandal. And he said, I know this. The great saints, they see things very clearly. He said, actually, I came here just to help you. Now you can continue this life of just she became like a great renunciate, and she would engage in daily, all day chanting japa. He said, actually, and so this person, this businessman, he was worried about the fame of Haridas Thakur, but he only increased the fame, because the town prostitute now has become a great saint of the whole like area. And so this is Bhagavan's Sattvatam Patihi. The Lord is the protector. He protects the devotees. You have the story of this king, Nriga, in the Krishna book, in the 10th canto also of Bhagavatam. And he accidentally gives the same cow in charity to two priests. He gives it to one priest. He gives thousands of cows, but one of those cows comes back to his cowshed, his goshala, and then he gives it to another man. And the both men realize that they've been given the same cow, and they are arguing, and then they curse this king Maharaj Nriga. They curse him to become born as a lizard. And so in the purport, it described that this king was performing religious activities. He was performing dharmic activities, karma yoga, but not really in this sense of bhakti. And so because he was not approaching the Lord in a very loving mood, he didn't get that protection that comes with the path of Shuddha Bhakti, or pure devotional service. He didn't have that protection. And therefore, it shows that a person can do all these Vedic rituals very nicely, but there's every chance of making some mistake. But if you're surrendered to Krishna, Krishna says, Ananyas Chintayatamam. I preserve whatever you have. I bring to you whatever you lack. I will take care of you. So this is the, as he said in the previous verse, he mentions these three approaches. But here he's saying Bhagavan. That's why, therefore, we should, with one focused attention, we should focus on Bhagavan, the highest realization of the Supreme. Bhagavan Saptavihi. So let's look at the purport. Short purport. If the realization of the absolute truth is the ultimate aim of life, it must be carried out by all means. In any one of the above-mentioned castes and orders of life, the four processes, namely glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshiping, are general occupations, general activities. Without these principles of life, no one can exist. The activities of a living being involve engagement to the four different principles of life. Especially in modern society, all activities are more or less depending on hearing and glorifying. So that's what is that? TV. We're watching. We're speaking about it. Actually, and any man in any social status who becomes well known in human society within a very short time, if he is simply glorified truly or falsely, in the daily, any man from any social status becomes a well-known man in human society within a very short time if he is simply glorified truly or falsely in the daily newspapers. Okay, so if he is simply glorified, he'll become you just become a well-known person. Sometimes political leaders of a particular party are also advertised by newspaper propaganda, and by such method of glorification, an insignificant man becomes an important one within no time. But such propaganda by false glorification of an unqualified person cannot bring any good either to the particular man or for the society. There may be some temporary reactions to such propaganda, but there are no permanent effects. Therefore, such activities are a waste of time. The actual object of glorification is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has created everything manifested before us. We have broadly discussed this fact in the beginning of the Janmad Asya Shloka of the Bhagavatam. That's the first verse. And that's also the first verse of Vedanta Sutra. The tendency to glorify others and hear others must return to the real object of glorification, the Supreme Being, and that will bring happiness. So it says here, no one can exist without these. So it's kind of like, say you go in a coma or you're really sick and your muscles become atrophied. The natural state is this stability, this strength, this movement. But when it's atrophied, it does not perform like that. And after a lot of rehabilitation, a lot of practice, a lot of hard work, a lot of consistent endeavor and intention, one will find that the muscles can move again. And so we might not think that, I need to glorify God. I need to hear about God. Actually, like one devotee was saying, that when they came to Krishna consciousness, they realized they didn't come because they wanted Krishna. They came for whatever different reasons. But what kept them going is that they realized Krishna wanted them. It's like, I didn't want Krishna, but I could see he wanted me. And so gradually that the original love became uncovered. So we hear about Krishna. When you hear something, then we talk about it. So glorified. Kirtita means kirtan. It means speaking about Krishna, telling others. And jaya, Prabhupada says this jaya, this remembrance or meditation can also mean japa and puja, the little arti, you'll find, you can actually just get a picture of Radha and Krishna or get a picture of some deities and then offer an incense stick. Just offer with a loving offering an incense stick. And then you may find after some time, I need that. I want that. I can't do without that. I just need an incense stick. That's all I need. There's this great movie that came out in the 70s called Malik. And Malik means boss. Again, going back to that same thing, boss. And it's a cool story about a boy who was, it's not a real story. I don't think it's a real story, but it's a movie. It's a very entertaining, nice Krishna conscious film. Very, very Krishna conscious. So this boy, he's orphaned at a temple. He grows up just serving at a temple. He's the bell ringer. He goes around and sings bhajans for the deities. And he's just supported by the temple. He grew up as a temple servant. His mom dropped the child off as an orphan on the steps of the altar. And then one day he gets accused of stealing the diamond. There's a diamond that was in Krishna's crown, and he gets accused of this, and it hurts him greatly. And so he leaves the temple, and he's very angry at Krishna for this challenge, this troubling situation. Then he meets a guru. The guru actually, the theme of the whole movie is this Ananyas Chintayantumam. They repeat it many times, that Krishna is the protector, the maintainer of his devotees. And so he revives his spiritual depth after that initial challenge by meeting this guru, who says that sometimes to clean clothes we have to use boiling water. We have to use, or to purify gold, it must go through fire. So these challenges, can help us grow often. And so he lives as an apple salesman on the streets, just selling fruit on the street. And at the end of the day, he's paid by the business owner, just a small amount. He takes practically half of what he owns, and he just buys a few sticks of incense. And the other half is just a little bit of food. And so with the incense, he goes to the temple and he offers. And one day, he's at the temple, and this businessman has an epileptic seizure, and he helps the businessman. The businessman's suitcase falls open. All this money is all over the floor, but he's there caring for the businessman who's visiting the deity. And the businessman is so touched by how he was saved, like from suffocation, and he has like this big stack of money. He encourages the devotee to take it. He's like, no. And he said, Krishna, this man is trying to make me greedy. And the man is saying, Krishna, I want to serve your devotees. Let this devotee know to accept this service. And then there was a sign. So he accepted that service. And then with the money, he became educated, and eventually it grew and grew to the point became very fabulously wealthy. And the story continues on. But his former boss, this lady who had the apple business, one of her friends told her how that happened to him. And so she went to the man who was her former employee, and asked to borrow a big sum of money, not a huge sum, but a good sum of money. And first she made a whole story, and then he said, no, just be honest. And then she said, and so she took all that money, and then she went to an incense shop, and she took huge things of incense, and she was burning it, and she had neck beads and big tea lock all over, and she was chanting, and she was like, I'm gonna get that money just like him, And it seemed like the same situation happened. This man came, he fell down, suitcase fell open, a bunch of money spilled out, and the man just ran away. And she was like, Krishna, you gave me everything. You gave me everything. And so so she was she got really nice, fancy, Western clothes, and she was throwing money at people, and then she found out that her brother was arrested. So she went to the police station, and she started stacking the money on the table. Let him go, let him go. And the brother was saying, see, it's her. And so so after it kind of settles down, she's like, what's going on? And he said, your brother was arrested for using counterfeit money. And she said, oh, and he said, see, you had counterfeit devotion. Krishna gave you counterfeit money. Jali note. He gave, and so Krishna gives us what is helpful for us. Sometimes it's a little trouble, and that trouble is in the shape of reactions of our own karma. It's not like he's making us suffer, but we're getting our own karma in a curated way. And sometimes he also shows, here, I was not suffering, but opulence. I'll protect you. I'll support you. I'll give you. And that way, this is Bhagavan Sapatam Patihi. They feel this protection of the Lord, and they become deeper in their Ekena Manasa. They're one pointed focus in meditation. That sound good?
Sounds wonderful.
All right.
The story reminds me of something similar. Well, sort of, but how you were saying about getting photos of Radha or Krishna or their deities and offer a incense. There's a devotee here who told a story where he has a little deity of Srila Prabhupada, and he constantly travels everywhere selling incense. And so he found this father and daughter and asked them to care for Srila Prabhupada. So they started caring for Srila Prabhupada for a month. And then when Chitsukananda, the devotee who owns that deity, came back, they literally fell on the floor and they're like, please don't take him. We have, a desire to keep Srila Prabhupada. And they had all these wonderful memories with the deity of Srila Prabhupada. So Chitsukananda saw their sincerity and their honesty, and he let them keep Srila Prabhupada. And they were overjoyed.
Nice. Oh, we have Navanita just entered. Welcome, Navanit. Hi, Krishna. Welcome. We're just finished the class part, and we're going to start the verses. But thank you for coming. Maybe Dana K and Carmen, can you say something about the verse to Navaneet?
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna, Dharmat Pranam. Sorry, I got late. I don't know why I got late.
No problem, no problem. Carmen, can you tell us something about anything about the verse to Navaneet?
One thing that stuck out was how in the purport of the verse, it was explaining how like someone can become well known just by falsely or unfalsely showing up in the newspaper and people like know of his existence. The way that like related to me was if you continue to like chant and meditate on Krishna and read about him, you can start seeing him in like little things in your life and develop this connection that will last forever.
Yeah. And this kind of glorification, like we could glorify some president, some this or that, and it's not going to please our heart. We're not going to be satisfied. But if we glorify the root, what are the root? Yattaro mula nishtanena. When we water that root, we all become deeply nourished. Dana K, anything to share with Navaneet about the verse that we looked at?
I just kind of going off of what Carmen says, it's like keeping our focus one pointed on what really matters. And it's so easy to get pulled into all these other focuses and glorifications and thinking that something in this material world is going to help us reach some kind of happiness or contentment, but it's really keeping our, what did you say, our ADD mind on one focused on Krishna at all times is really what's going to bring that to us.
Nice. Thank you so much. All right, so let's look at the verse. Let me pull it up. Hare Krishna. Tasmad ekena manasa. Tasmad ekena manasa. Tasmad ekena manasa. Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi.
Do we have to repeat after you, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can repeat either mic on or off, but yeah, please repeat. Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati.
Tasmadekena Manasa.
Tasmadekena Manasa.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati.
Tasmadekena Manasa.
Tasmadekena Manasa.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati.
Tasmadekena Manasa.
Tasmadekena Manasa.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi.
Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati.
Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha.
Trotavya Kirtiva Vyasacha.
Now, when you say Shrotavya, you need to grab your ear so you don't remember. Don't forget, Shrota is to hear. Shrotavya. And then Kirtita, you can do this with your hand.
Yeah.
Kirtitavyascha.
Trotavya Kirtitava Vyacha.
Yeah.
Kirtitavyacha.
Kirtida, kirti, glorify. Kirtan, sankirtan. Shrottavya, kirtitavyascha. Kirtitavyascha.
Krotavya kirtitavascha.
Jyeya. Jyeya is meditation, remembrance, japa. That's what their japa is meant to be, very meditative. Jyeya pujascha nityada.
Deyascha pujayata nityada.
Jyeya pujascha nityada.
Deyaha pujasya cha nityada.
So this word nityananda, nitya means eternal, but it also means constant, regular.
Yeah.
So it can mean constantly, regularly. That most of the time we hear it as eternal, but it also means constant, regularly. Shrotavya kirtita vyascha.
Trotavya kirtitavyascha.
Jyeya pujascha nityada.
Deya pujayascha nityada.
Tasmad ekena manasa.
Tasmadekena manasa.
Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi.
Bhagavan Satvatam Pati.
Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha.
Trotavya kirtitavyascha.
Jyeya Pujascha Nityada.
Dehas pujasa cha nityada.
Jyeya Pujascha Nityada.
Deya pujasya cha nityaya.
Now
Nityada.
what happens if you do this stuff? What happens if you always hear about the divine divinity, the most attractive personality, and use your mouth to glorify and meditate, and even engage your body in worship? That is what we're going to find out in the next verse. That's what happens if you do that. So let's look at this next verse. Yad anudyasina yukta karma granti nibandhanam. Karma granti. Granti means a knot. And this is asina. This is a sword, which this will actually chindanti, cut. The chindanti kovidastasya kona kuryat kataratim. So when you do this, it will cut our material karmas away. So which smart person, the intelligent people, the kovidas, the intelligent people doing this, they cut away their karma just by remembering this Supreme Personality, this Anundya, by the sword of remembrance. They cut away their karmic bondage. Ko na kuryat kataratim. Therefore, who would not do this? Whoever's not doing this is not really that bright. This is like this. Why not? If you do this, it will cut away your karmic bondage. And then after this verse, we move into a whole new section. And so this is the 9 stages or the 14 stages of bhakti. 9 stages is described by Krishna Chakravarti Thakur, and then also Jiva Goswami describes 14 different levels. And so that's going to beginning with this, all starting with this Shraddha. Shraddha means an eagerness, a willingness, an initial faith, some willingness to participate. Shushusha Shraddhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi. And by this Shraddha, we develop this affinity. So this is going to start talking about the gradual various stages of development. All right. So here we are. Let me wait. Go back to 14. Where are we on? Tasmad ekena manasa
Ekena manasa
Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi
Bhagavan Sattvatam Pati
Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha
Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha
Jaya Pujascha Nityada.
Deya Pujasya Nityada
Jaya Pujascha Nityada.
Deya Pujasya Nityada
Jaya Pujas Nityada.
Deyas Pujasya Nityada.
Very nice. How about Carmen? Can you read it off to us?
I'm still having trouble with like the last two parts, but I will try.
Okay, go for it.
Tasmat ekena manasya Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi Shrotavya Kirtitavascha.
Yep.
And then I'm really struggling with the last one.
Jaya.
Dhyaya.
Jnana means meditation. It's one of the Ashtanga, the eightfold path of yoga. You have the don'ts, the do's, the 5 things you don't do, the 5 things you do. Then you have asana. Then comes pranayama, breath restraint, pratyahara, withdrawing the mind. Then comes dharana, concentration, jhana, dhyaya, meditation, and samadhi, full absorption.
Dhyaya.
Dhyaya.
Dhyaya. Okay. Dhyaya Pujaschcha Nityada.
Nityada. Yes. Okay. One more time.
Tasmat ekena manasya Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi Shrotavya Kirtitvascha. Kirtitavyascha. Dhyaya Pujaschcha Nityada.
Very nice. And Dana K, can you give us a reading?
Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Sattvatam Patihi. I struggle with these last two too. Shrotam Baha Kirtitavayascha Dehi Ya Pujascha Nityada.
Very good.
I tried.
So you got the Shrotavya, Shrota, Shruti, Tat Shrinu. We hear this Shrinu, Shroti, Shrotam, Shrutis. That is which is heard. So Shrotavya, lend your ears to Krishna. Kirtitavyas, Kirtita, Kirtan, Kirtitavyascha, Vyascha. Can you say Vyascha? Kirtitavyascha. Jaya, meditation, great focus. Take a deep breath in. Okay, now we can, I'm going to say something. and see if you can picture it. So, a beach, and there is a ball there with blue, white, and red stripes. So we just heard it, but it creates an image in the mind. So if we chant Krishna, we chant consistency, because then the form should come. Krishna, Hare Krishna, you know. Nama Rupa Charita, Nama Guna Rupa Charita. First we become focused and we hear the name. Nana Guna, then we begin to also have this meditation that comes about on his qualities, then his character, and then his Nana Guna Rupa Charita. I'm not sure if I'm saying it in the right order. Nana Guna Rupa Charita. Nama Guna Rupa. So his qualities, his form, and then his pastimes also. So like this, we can think of Krishna. We don't have to think of Krishna. We just chant Krishna, and then, just like when you like we said, think of the beach. You'll see, we just hear the sound, but the sound creates the image. Ajayas pujas janityada, and puja means, so we're engaging our ears, engaging our mouth, kirtita, engaging our manas, our mind, manasa, and jay, and concentration, japa, and then we're also engaging our puja means as a whole, full engagement of the body. Like the arti has the 5 gross elements: fire, air, or earth, water, and ether. Ether is symbolized by the flower, air is the fan, you have the fire is the fire, water is the water in the arti, and earth is the fragrance of the incense. So you have these 5 elements that are there. And then you have the mana, the mind, the kirtan, the music. You have the intelligence and the study, the philosophy, and the ego becomes engaged when you offer obeisances. Eventually, like we said, in the beginning, we first come to a temple, we see someone bowing down, we'll be shocked. What is going on here? This is so odd, so weird. But eventually, if we do it, eventually we'll feel like, oh, I want to bow. I want to offer nice respects to Krishna. I want to offer nice respects to his devotees. We'll feel like bowing down. And so this is ahankar becomes engaged. So those are the 8 elements. And then the body, the karmendriyas, the body becomes engaged. All the different elements become engaged. Pujas, janityada. And we do this consistently, regularly. And then what does it do? Chindanti, cuts away reactions of past life. So I think we can stop here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Navneet, welcome back. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. That means pranam to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Dana K. Thank you, Carmen G.
Hariba.
Thank you all who are watching online or who will watch on YouTube. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Down to that.